taxes. Before we go in and talk about taxes, give us a brief background about maybe taxes, about URA. Yeah.
Okay, so URA, by the way, this year is very significant for us. We make 30 years. So, you know, when you are 30 years in Uganda, you are a proper adult. If you are not yet married by then, the village... Yes, an adult tax administration body. Yes, so you need to be married by then, maybe a few kids in primary school. Yes, so our mandate as URA is to collect revenue for the government of Uganda. And this revenue includes tax revenue and non-tax revenue. The other key aspect of our mandate is facilitating trade, especially both from the customs perspective where there is import and export trade, but also domestically through the excise duty regime for manufacturers. You know, so we facilitate trade, and we work together also with other institutions like the Bureau of Standards, Registration Service Bureau, to make sure that the business environment and the economic environment in general is conducive, is healthy, is safe, and in this 30-year, as we mark our 30 years, our key focus is to increase the tax to GDP ratio so that a lot more of our budget is funded by taxes instead of relying on donors, on borrowings, and the like. Yes.
Yeah. So, Mr. James, about how are you promoting transparency about the GDP, taxes? How are you promoting transparency? Yeah.
In Uganda Revenue Authority.
Yeah, in Uganda Revenue Authority.
By the way, we are all.
And how are you celebrating the 30? You're all
Jameses.
Yes.
So now you have to be very specific.
So what should
ABOLA or KAMRA? You can call me KAMRA.
KAMRA, okay.
Differentiating.
Mr. KAMRA.
Yes. Thank you. What are we doing as far as promoting transparency is concerned?
Like in this celebration of the 30 years.
As we celebrate the 30 years, we are trying to let our community, our taxpayers know that whatever we are doing, we are aiming at being transparent.
Yeah.
And one of the key things that we are promoting here is what we call integrity. Unlike in the past, where integrity will be defined in terms of someone doing the right thing all the time, even when it's not being seen, which is correct.
Yeah,
but in tax administration, we've taken it to another level, where we now redefine integrity to mean our processes, systems, and the people all work as per the promise made in our client value proposition and the employee value proposition. And how are we promoting transparency?
And integrity.
And integrity in Uganda Revenue Authority. You know, transparency is an aspect of integrity actually.
Sure.
So one of the things we are doing is that most of our services have been automated. And this is aimed at being transparent. You can register yourself wherever you're located. Unlike in the past where you come to your office first to come and register for a team, you can do it from home. Yes, you can do it from home. And anyone else, it's not a privilege of one person. Anyone can do that as far as we're a taxpayer. We want to pay taxes, you can register for it from anywhere. We've automated most of the processes, and going forward, even those that are still manual are going to be automated as one way of minimizing human interference. We've also provided our guidelines, procedures on the website. Anyone can access from wherever you are. That's how transparent we are. And if there is anything that we are transparent, when it comes to recruitment, we've also gone an extra mile. Currently, the recruitment process is online. When there are opportunities, they are advertised online. You don't need to first come to your area, what is it? And to make also streamlined, assessed, and the authorized people are put. Come to your home for what?
Maybe like there are these people who come to homes, they home by home. Yeah, some of them are, maybe they come, they are fake, they say they're coming from URA. How do we know as people that these are people that are right?
Oh, maybe you're talking about the people who come for rent or tax. Maybe. For those who are genuine, they normally have an identification. genuine IDs of URA staff when they come for that kind of operations.
Yeah, and maybe I think, James, you need to talk about the features of the genuine URA
genuine
ID. Simple as it is, it can
some
be.
of them even can fake them, or they can even fake the immunization card, and they become like the official.
Wow.
So how about these people who have, because I see them, they come at our homes, they're like, taxes, and then you talked about online. Can I pay my taxes online? And if this person comes to my home, how sure I am that over how sure am I that this is the person that is right, or is a genuine person? And do I give them cash?
Oh, fantastic. That's a good one. Well, the ID, and I don't know whether you can see it very well from here. These are the features you should see on that ID.
Yes.
For a URA staff, it should be like this.
Yeah, so there's the URA logo.
So every person who comes to your home has to have that ID.
Yes. Not only in the home, even when you come to our offices. Yes.
Producer, maybe I think when we come back, they're going
to zoom on the ID. Yes. Thank
so
you.
you've been telling us.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, unlike in the past, these days you don't pay tax in cash.
Because they come with the names of URA.
All these are impersonators because we cannot we cannot control the actions of every ill-intentioned person. And that's why we are here talking to viewers so that they get to know the right information and act. The thing is that the way we want to deal with taxpayers, the way we are dealing with taxpayers now is through engagement. You know, so much as the law gives URA a lot of powers, we do not come showing the power first time. Yes, we come through engagement. There should be understanding. What tax are you supposed to pay? Have you filed the taxes? Have you made the payments?
Yeah.
Yes, and in some cases we appreciate people do not have the understanding, so we come and explain. Yes, and there should be no reason. When somebody then comes and says pay cash, there you know straight away that one is not. That's not URA. Yes, because you see that is cash is one loophole where you can have corruption. So any institution that gets cash has that risk that there will be corruption. Yes, so they are better placed, the banks are better placed to handle cash, so that's why we use the banks. But also we have other payment methods, mobile money, we have payway, which are integrated to our system. Yes, so you can pay through that so that people are not bothered with this cash.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, Mr. KAMRA, like the lack of, how does this affect URA, the lack of integrity and transparency? Yeah, what picture does it depict to the world if there is lack of integrity and transparency?
Yeah, automatically when there's lack of integrity, you lose trust from the public. Because if they know whatever we are paying is being now stolen or being misused, people will not be willing to pay.
Yeah.
So that it creates a very bad image, and the person who would have complied to pay, he says, no, why am I paying anyway? After all, the taxes are being misused or being stolen. But when there is integrity, people will trust you and they will be able to come and pay what is expected to pay. And in the long run, we'll be able to get the government funds to facilitate roads, hospitals, and the likes. So the cost of corruption or the cost of none of integrity, it brings these bad things like, for example, bad roads that we have as a result of non-payment of tax, of lack of integrity. It brings even people who are caught in corruption. It brings the disrepute to their families. And you know, you're looking at the individual involved, but he has a chain of people following, or family. They are also affected as a result of that. It's a bad thing, really. Yes, lack of integrity can bring a lot of negativity to both the institution, to the nation and the families where we come from.
Yeah. And then Mr. James, I'm seeing a lot of people, some of them are like, who is eligible to pay all these taxes? Yeah, and how do I pay my taxes? I can be here, I pay taxes, I don't know that every day that I pay taxes. Or I may be some kind of person that I don't know that I pay taxes.
Okay.
Yeah, who is eligible to pay taxes?
Okay. So Uganda broadly has two categories of taxes. There's the direct tax and then the indirect tax.
What is the indirect?
So an example of indirect tax is the VAT. Okay. Now that one, you go and buy some item. They tell you this item is worth 15,000 shillings.
Yeah.
But inside that 15,000 shillings is 18% VAT. So for you, you pay. Sometimes even when they are giving you the receipt, you are in a hurry, you don't want. But if you got that receipt, for instance, if you bought from a supermarket, then you will see there's a certain amount. Then they add 18% VAT, there's a figure, then the total amount, which comes now to 15,000. Okay? So you have paid that tax. Indirectly. Yes. Then you are here employed by Family TV. And at the end of the month, when they are paying you your salary, there's pay as you earn. Now, pay as you earn starts from 200, anything in excess of 235,000 shillings. Yes, and then it is graded, 235 to about 3 something. The excess is what is taxed, maybe 10%. Then from about 350 to 400, the excess is taxed 20% like that. Okay, so you pay now. Your employer will deduct that from you and remit to URA. Okay. Then the business itself, at the end of the year, they will work out their taxes and then they will say, we have to pay corporation tax. Okay. So there are different kinds of taxes. Now the thing is that for the direct tax, that is where your question of who is eligible comes in. So one, are you a business? In fact, you should be in some kind of economic activity. Whether it is a business or employment, in your case, it's an economic activity. Yes, that economic activity will eventually give you income. You see, and tax is on what you have made. Yes, so wherever, yes, so wherever there's tax, and people need to appreciate this. When people are saying more tax, that means more economic activity, so we don't see the positive side, because if I am not taxable, that means I'm not engaged in an economic activity, which is a bad thing to be in. So it's a good thing to be taxable. That means you are engaged in an economic activity. So, and tax does not take everything. It just takes a percentage, not of the capital you have put, but the profit that you're going to get.
So at that point, Mr. KAMRA, in some countries, when you pay taxes, those receipts, you get them and pay them, and then you go back to the revenue, and then they're like, okay, they give you cash. So how about here in Uganda? If I get all those taxes, maybe I go to the supermarket and get VAT 18%, and then I pay them, and then at the end of the year, I come to the revenue. What do you do for me? What is the use for that? Yes.
Maybe let me clarify on this one. I'm sure you're talking about where people who are traveling, then they refund you.
And then I keep those receipts.
Now, for our case here, like you said, VAT, we have VAT input and output. So if you keep your receipts, and most cases you must be registered VAT taxpayers for our case here. Yes, leave alone the cases of people who have traveled and they are refunding your VAT. But here, you must keep your books. And it's good you've talked about the receipts analysis, and that means they must see your input and output, and if there is anything in excess you pay, they refund it to you. Yes, that's the difference.
Yeah.
But maybe to confirm from you, we talked about pay as you earn. I want to let you know that anyone who earns 235,000 does not pay any tax. So not many people say, there are those who don't pay. Yes, there are those. If your earning is say 2.820 in a year, you don't pay tax because averagely you are earning 235,000 per month. You don't pay tax.
That's little money.
So that is, at least we give people to grow. We don't tax still grow.
Indeed, there is transparency.
That's a good one. And maybe I may be assuming family TV is removing your pay as you earn, and it may not be remitting. So I need to know from you, do they actually pay? I may be assuming they are not. That is good.
Yeah, and then Mr. James, give us some of the, you also give us some challenges. First, while collecting government revenue, what are the challenges?
I think one of the challenges is those who are supposed to pay the tax under-declare. And we see this both from the people who are in business, they under-declare their sales. So because, for instance, the VAT, the value-added tax, is on sales. So somebody wants to pay less, so they under-declare. But we also see importers under-declare their imports. Some of them use fake documents to show that, you know, the value of this item I'm importing is less than what the actual value is. Now, the thing, of course, is that we have capacity. For instance, when you under-declare your sales, but somebody else you sold to has reported it in their return. You know, so then once there is any indication that you are not honest, yes, then you are likely to undergo tax audit. And if the audit indeed proves the dishonesty, then there will be penalties. Yes, which is not.
Then this person who has not been like transparent.
Yes, you'll be penalized. Yes, and yeah, because we want you to do the right thing.
What are the penalties?
The penalty depends, because there are, you see, tax is a legal thing. Yes, so every breach, every wrong you do, there's a specific penalty. So there can be now a penalty for non-filing, late filing, under declaration. So yes, and so those can add up. So you'll find that you are paying maybe 100% or 150% in penalties, including the principal that you are not declared. Then the late filing of returns, yes, is another issue, because on the 15th of every month, we expect that the returns for the previous month, be it VAT, be it pay as you earn, should be filed. Then there are goods which are under what we call the digital stamp. These are manufactured goods in Uganda, and they are supposed to affix, to put on them the digital stamp. Yes, for instance, mineral water, a lot of beverages, mineral water, the sodas, the juices, they are supposed.
Is it a must?
Yes, it is a legal requirement. By the way, these laws are passed by Parliament. URA only enforces. Yes, yes. Yeah, sometimes people. No. URA does not sit up and cook any tax. It is the Parliament that says this tax is supposed to be paid by this category, and the responsibility of URA is to enforce. So, but there is also another. You should not only look at the tax element. For instance, with the digital stamp, it also shows that this is a genuine product.
For the digital.
Yes, the one which has the digital stamp, because you see the Bureau of Standards has. Because the Bureau of Standards has approved. Yes, we work together with the Bureau of Standards, which approved that this is a good product. okay, from their laboratory. Now, when that stamp comes, it now shows that's a good product. But also, it is protecting that manufacturer.
You also check the energy drinks?
The Bureau of Standard does that, yes? Yes, we work together with them. We work together with them. So, so we are not only collecting tax, but we are also putting a mark of approval that this is a genuine product that Ugandans can take, you know, but Mr. Kamara can also share some of the other challenges that we are facing.
Yeah, thank you. And like Mr. Bola has already alluded, we also have challenges to do with the porous borders.
Porous borders?
Yes, the porous borders whereby people end up smuggling. And you know, you can't be everywhere in the border.
You can't
end up now smuggling in goods. And you know, when they smuggle in goods, it is a disadvantage to the manufacturers within here. And also,
they were like, these people who that bring in clothes, they're like, what they're earning, the taxes are higher than what they're earning. So I want to think that sometimes while the taxes are hiked high, that like from what they're earning, that's why they run away from paying taxes.
I don't want to believe that, but even if it was a fact, the right person to go to, if there were any queries, it is the people they vote in power.
Yeah, the people they vote in power.
Like James has told you, for us we are implementers. Now, if the tax is seen to be high, it is those very people to engage their MPs to say, no, we are not comfortable with these taxes, and therefore should be reduced so that we can be able to get some regional earnings. For us as URA, we cannot come out and say, no, we can give advice as Uganda Revenue Authority, but it would hold much water if it came from the citizens through their members of parliament. Say, well, maybe the taxes in this area, they are higher, would you please reduce so that we can be able to...
Yeah, but you see, the other thing also, businesses face distortion, that if one business A is paying its tax, but business B and C are not paying, then A is going to suffer a narrower profit margin, while the other ones, but if everybody is paying, then the net effect is zero, because nobody is going to have an advantage over the other, that you can sell at a lower price, because you still, as a business person, you sell to make a profit. Yes, so when there are such complaints, the other side to look at is everybody in that chain paying taxes, and the chances usually are that there are some who are not, and we are very much interested in finding them and bringing them to book so that they pay the right taxes. And that's why we want to also appeal to the citizens. You know, if you are in business, you know your neighbors who are in a similar business. Yes, so you can let us know that, you know, Musoke and Ojangol are also in this business, and then we come and talk nicely to Musoke and Ojangol, and so that they can also pay their taxes. And we are all
people are defaulters because they do not know the reasons as to why they pay their taxes.
Yes.
Yes.
No, that is certainly a concern to us, and
that's why
that's why we have a whole unit that is focused on tax education. Yes, so that people get to know what taxes to pay, how they should pay it, and like you've said, the benefits go to is that the people who should be walking proudly are the ones who have paid their taxes. Now the way I look at you, you're a little bit young. So there was a time when there was what was called graduated tax. Yes.
Graduated tax.
Yes, graduated.
Brenda was not born.
Brenda could have read about it in history. Yes. Now, so graduated tax was an opportunity. It was for local governments. It was an opportunity for everybody who was above 18 years old to pay. The exemption would be if you are still in school. Okay, so you'll bring your school ID and you'll be exempted.
Pay tax.
Yes, but then once you finish school, whether you have a job or not, you have to pay.
You used to pay your tax.
Now you see, that's a good question, because people knew they had to pay the tax. By the time you turn 15, 16, you start planning that I need to have some chicken and goats so that by the time I'm 18, I can sell a goat and pay my what? Tax.
tax.
Now, because because that thing was removed, some people have lost the sense of responsibility. Yes, so you can be there, a 30-year-old fellow with no chicken or goat to your name.
You're only waking up to Marwa,
playing cards, yes,
Ludo.
going to the sport betting,
Yeah.
yes. But you see, countries that are developed are countries where citizens are proud of paying taxes. You see, in these Western countries, when people are contesting for offices, one of the things they are proud about is their tax record. Yes, so that's what Uganda needs to be. You know that as a local council member, as an MP, as a member of the cabinet, one of the things I have to be proud about is that I am paying taxes, because that's a sense of responsibility, and this is what we want to build in the citizenry as URA, because that is the way forward to have a truly developed economy.
Yeah, true. And then, Mr. Kamara, what is that failure to comply? You've been telling us the challenges. The challenges are done, because I wanted to. The challenges.
Yeah, maybe another challenge, I can say there are many. Another challenge is the mindset. People who think for every service you go for in URA you have to pay, which is not true.
Yeah.
They are used to paying bribes, and actually it becomes costly for them to get a service in URA. Yes, like for example, there are people who think you have to pay for a team. It is free.
It's free.
You're not supposed to pay for a team. And like a case where people go for these tax consultants, when you go to a tax consultant, that is not URA. Those ones will charge you. So we want to make it clear to people that all the services we offer are free.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you want a service from URA, please walk in and you will be served.
Yeah,
There's no
true.
charge to that.
And then failure to comply, you get a default assessment. What is a default assessment?
A default assessment is generated by the system. It normally estimates you looking at the people in the same industry. Because you fail to file your return, you fail to pay, it assesses you. It makes an estimate looking at the topmost and the lowest, and then makes an assessment and say you into your account. Yes, but you have a right to object to it by filing the correct return, and then you come to reconcile with the staff in the Government Authority. You can say, this is too whatever, and then you can object to it and then file. But why wait for all that? Why don't you file the right return from
Sometimes, you see even in school, sometimes if a teacher to make clear of things, you need to be given chiboko.
Some chiboko, that is true.
Sometimes you need some chiboko to understand what they're saying.
That is true. So that's what happens. It's generated by the system, and in most cases people get scared. Sometimes it can be too really huge.
Yeah.
And someone says, oh my God, what is this? I've never made this in business. But it's an estimate normally by the system. And you have a right to object to it and then file a right to return and pay.
You as a person,
Yes.
if you're given that.
Company or individual, whatever it is, yes. Yes.
Wow. And then in case taxi payers are unfairly treated by either your officers or licensed agencies during the taxi payment in course process, asking for bribes or otherwise, where can clients find redress?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are quite a number of avenues you can use. One be that you can walk into URA. We are based in Akawa headquarters.
Yeah.
We have the staff compliance office and ask for the assistant commissioner staff compliance. Report your complaint. You can also send an email. ABOLA is actually here. ABOLA.
We're going to come back on ABOLA. Let's go into a short break. We have to get a short break, but we're going to come back on that.
Okay.